Okay. Oh my gosh. Shit. Hi guys. Welcome back to Not Responsible. Oh my gosh. It has been a while since I have done this. I actually have not recorded a video since April of this year, and it's currently the end of August. Oh my god. Anyways, so I'm titling this episode, Hey, how y'all doing? You know, like that meme? Cool. Anyways. Let's mute that. Anyways. You're annoying me. Hey, how y'all doing? So, clearly, I've been slacking with the not responsible thing. I have good reason to, and I'm sorry. I have been active on like TikTok and Instagram and stuff, but I haven't like made an episode. I have posted an episode. I posted an episode probably about a month ago, but I haven't filmed one in a long time. Those were like pre-recorded, but this one is up to date. I will say this. So I've been a little MIA. Let's catch up. We're not gonna learn anything today because we're literally talking about my favorite subject ever, me. So, as you can see, we're not in our usual place. That is because I'm in my childhood bedroom. Yes, I moved out of Florida and I moved back into my parents' house in Maryland. Love Maryland. I am living with my parents again. I'm job searching. Still job searching. I'm over a year post-grad. Still job searching. More on that later, though. I have been so busy. I don't understand how someone who doesn't have a job can be so busy. Like, that's actually crazy to me. We are in the process of building the new set. However, that is a story in itself as well. Let's get into this. Okay, so last time you saw me, I lived in Florida, obviously. I moved out the beginning of May, end of April, and I moved back in with my parents. The move out process actually did go pretty smoothly, except one thing happened. One thing, and I'm still mad about it. So basically what happened was I hired Pod's moving company to like drop a pod in my neighborhood. I lived in a gated community. And in this gated community, you had to call ahead that your guests are coming, and they had to all be approved by this like gate person, this security guard. So I called in the Pod's truck on the day that I was supposed to go. Everything in my house was packed up. And there's this one particular gate guy who has worked there for a couple months. And he was on a power trip like it's no one's business. He was so mean to every single guest I have ever brought in that neighborhood. So mean. And like every neighbor hated him. You know how like in psychology, you statistically, people like you more than you think? Well, this guy was hated more than he thought. Because everybody I knew hated him. So basically, I had a pod coming. You have like a reserved parking spot in the neighborhood. And I measured the pod would fit in my parking spot. It was no big thing. But it did come on like a moving truck. So the day of moving comes. I had my moving pod scheduled for literally 7:30 in the morning. And the gate rejected the pod. It would not let it into the neighborhood. That guy. Bro, oh my gosh, I've never been more mad in my entire life. Because the gate company, like I called them, and I called all these other people. I called the Pods company. No one would let him in. He just refused. And me and my mom are ready to move out. Like, we had to move out. And the gate guy was like, it's not very neighborly to drop a pod. I'm not going to be your neighbor in 8 hours. Anyways, so we asked to call management, but it was on Saturday. So they were like, we can't call management. They're at home, and I could give you the emergency number, but they don't really like when I give that out for things that aren't important. Oh my God. Okay. So I went home, or like my mom and I just left the neighborhood. My mom got a hotel, and we were staying in the hotel, and I don't think I spoke for 2 hours. I've never been that mad in my entire life. I was so fuming mad. I was screaming, yelling. I couldn't talk. And then my mom was like, let's go to mass. Let's pray about it. Which most of the time would be, yeah. But I was so mad at this guy because he ruined all of my plans. I had this entire move out so strategically placed, and he ruined it. Ugh. So we're sitting in mass, and I get in like 5 minutes, and I'm saying prayers that I have memorized since I've been 5. And I just start crying. I'm so angry. I start bawling in mass. And my mom, my poor mother, I was like, I need to be outside. So I sat outside and waited for her to be done. But she felt so bad. She was mad too. But I was just so unbelievably angry. Anyways, the moving truck came on Monday morning. It was fine. There was a different security guard. The different security guard let them in. We went to the housing office and reported that guy. That guy actually, so I was explaining the story to, and this was like much deeper than I'm giving you guys. I was explaining the story to the management of the community, and they were like, you are not the first person to complain about this guy. Like, he's a menace. And when I was explaining to my neighbors all of this, they were like, oh yeah, the guy with the lion tattoo on his forearm. Like, yes, everyone knows who it is. Every single person I talked to knew exactly who it was. So obviously, he is the problem. So we went to management, and they were like, he is not the first person to complain. And I do think he ended up losing his job or getting relocated to a new place. He deserved it. So when I moved back here, I put all my stuff into our basement. And I have a little shed, like a play shed, that I used as a kid. And I was planning on using that play shed for the new set. There's a lot of complications. There's a lot of complications with that plan because all of the animals and the conditions and the weather had other plans. So there's mold in the ceiling has to get redone, there's a hole in the floor, it's not level, that kind of stuff. If you want to follow along on my TikTok, I have posted girl construction. Basically, it's just me trying to renovate this little shed. I think it's fun because it's me. But if you like HGTV, reno, DIY stuff, go ahead and look over there. It's going to need a lot of work. I'm hoping it'll get done soon, but I cannot promise. Sorry. One of the reasons that the new set has not been done was because I started working on it, and then I got sent to the ER. Uh-oh. I had an intestinal infection from hell. It was so bad I thought I was dying, and I'm not a complainer like that when it comes to physical pain. I'm very in touch with how I feel. I've dealt with I have a couple clinical issues. Like I've talked about before, I have PCOS, thyroid problems, that kind of thing. So I'm very in tune, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, with how I am feeling physically, and I thought I was dying. I thought one of my organs was shutting down. It was the worst. If you have an intestinal infection, I pray for you, because that was so horrible. I did not know how bad it could be. Also, when I went to the ER for 2 days, and I was in the hospital for 2 days, and one of the first things they thought was salmonella. And I was like, if this is what salmonella is like, I'm never eating raw eggs again. Literally ever. And I haven't since. Like, raw cookie dough, I used to be like, I don't care my entire life. And then they said, like, what you're describing is salmonella. Never again. Never again. I'm done. I'm never going through that again. That was so much pain. I'm all good now. I'm fine. But I had to take like a month and a half of no strenuous activity. Because it took a month and a half to recover from it. Oh my God. The audio waves are funny looking. They're like, rah. Anyways, as we know, if you have seen my stuff, needles are my worst fear. Needles, I hate needles. It freaks me out. I don't like the thought of something under my skin. Ugh, no, absolutely not. I had to get so many IVs. I've had more IVs in the past year than I've ever wanted to in my entire life. Oh my gosh, that was the worst part. Like, I was telling my mom, so like the day that everything went wrong, I was telling my mom, like, in the morning, I don't feel good. I think I need to stay home, all this stuff. And she's like, okay. And then later in the afternoon, I was like, I need to go to the hospital. And the first thing my mom says is, they're going to give you an IV. And I was like, I don't care. I don't care at all. And then she was like, oh my gosh, this is serious. So we went to the ER, obviously. Because when I say that I don't mind getting a needle, it's serious. I got to see the Blue Angels. That was so fun. I was so thankful that I got to go. My cousin Riley put me on to Top Gun. I'd never actually watched Top Gun. I really liked it. I thought it was a good film. Anyways, I really liked Top Gun. I thought it was fun. So then I got to see the Blue Angels. Oh my gosh. So cool. If you haven't seen the Blue Angels, like, it's something that you should look into doing. I am very thankful that I live like 40 minutes from the Naval Academy, so I get to experience that kind of stuff. I'm going to do a whole episode on why Maryland is so cool. I think Maryland is one of the coolest states, genuinely, not because I live here, but Maryland is super cool, and I'm going to do a whole episode on why I love Maryland. But the proximity to the Naval Academy is a really cool part of it, so I get to experience things like that. That other people in different parts of the country don't get to experience. Me and my mom, so while we've been in this, like, waiting period, I guess is the right word for it, me and my mom have been trying to come up with, like, fun summer recipes that are relatively healthy, like, just trying to incorporate more, like, fruits and vegetables into what we normally eat. Normally, like, we eat pretty hearty meals, like a lot of starch and protein and that kind of stuff, but we really want to get into more fruits and vegetables, and we've been doing such a good job, and it's been so fun trying to, like, try new recipes and learn new recipes and what flavors go together. And one of my newest hyperfixations is, like, micronutrients, like what vitamins and minerals are in fruits and vegetables. I'm gonna go into a whole episode about this too, because I have been really deep diving into it. If you have any, like, fun recipe ideas that are, like, summer recipes that are super easy to make. So another really random thing that I've been getting into is gardening. I never thought I would care about plants. Truly. I never had cared about plants or gardening or anything like that. But we have, like, a raised garden. We have 2 raised gardens in my backyard. And my dad usually does, like, a lot of the gardening of it. And he said to me, he was like, I'm only going to use one of them. And whatever I don't use, you can just get some seed packets from the store and see what comes up. And I was like, works for me. So I went to the store and I bought a crazy variety of stuff, like sunflower, watermelons, cantaloupe, cilantro, tomatoes, cucumbers, kind of whatever. And not to be pessimistic, but I kind of expected everything to die, and not because of expecting the worst, but I planted them all really late in the season. This was like early June when I planted these all, and I didn't do anything specific to them. Like, I skimmed the instructions on the back and basically did whatever I wanted with them. Let me tell you, every single thing popped up. I'm so surprised. I have such a flourishing garden. There's sunflowers, and we have some huge watermelons. The cantaloupes are still, like, taking their time, but I'm so impressed. Another random side hobby that I have picked up, this is so stupid, is rock painting. Yes. So my cousin and her children came over for the weekend, and my driveway is gravel and, like, rocks. And me and my mom were like, so what can we do to keep these children entertained? And we were like, oh, let's do some rock painting. That would be fun. The child lost interest in 25 minutes. But me and my mom did it the whole weekend. And then kept doing it. Like, we got better materials and kept doing it. Like, we're working on the whole driveway. And my driveway's a half a mile long. Anyways, I'm really invested in rock painting. Oh, the job search. I am in the process of job searching. And if you are job searching right now, I give you a lot of props because it is so horrible. It's horrible. Oh my gosh. This is like the worst. I've been post-grad for a year, a little over a year. And I've maybe got 5 interviews. It's just been so bad. It's rejection after rejection. And it's such an ego hit that sucks. But it's jobs that I'm very qualified for. Some jobs I'm, like, overqualified for. And, like, one of my least favorite things, and something that I have been struggling with a lot, I have realized that Indeed sucks. It does, truly. Indeed is full of scams. If you are job searching, use ZipRecruiter. I like ZipRecruiter so much more. I switched over from Indeed to ZipRecruiter about 2-ish months ago, a month and a half ago. I've gotten 3 times the interviews on ZipRecruiter than I have on Indeed. And I've been on Indeed for a year. Indeed is full of scams. And, like, I get scam text messages 5 times a day for jobs that, like, I never applied for. And I get so many BS job applications. And a lot of the times, like, I'll apply for a job and then I'll never ever hear back. But, like, randomly I'm on their email list. Like, yeah, okay. And then, like, the worst part, and something I've been dealing with a lot, is, like, older adults trying to give career advice when they've been in the same career for 30 years or the same job for 30 years, and they're trying to give me job advice. Like, just because you have a job doesn't mean that you can give job advice, if that makes sense. Like, some of those things are not the same. We're in, like, a nationwide hiring freeze, and because there's so much changing in society and the government and blah 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 blah, but no one's really hiring. I am still job searching. I still want a job, like, with benefits mostly and that kind of stuff. But until then, I have a super exciting news. I opened an LLC. I did. I opened Media LLC, which is a company that offers marketing consultants. My specialty is in small businesses, but you know what? Like, whatever. I've gotten a couple, like, inquiries about political campaigns and just the craziest variety of stuff. I'm so thankful for my community because they have really, like, shown up and shown out. I announced my LLC a couple days ago, and let me tell you, it has taken off. So many people have shown up for me and supported me in it, and I'm so thankful. I basically offer custom marketing strategies. So marketing is kind of hard because a lot of people think marketing means sales, and it does not. Sales is the worst part of marketing. It is. It's truly the worst, and I hate sales. But there's so many different aspects to marketing that people don't understand. And this is like where I thrive. So you will not market a bagel shop and a perfume company the same way that you wouldn't market a software company the same. So depending on the product and who the product will target, you can get really creative with how things are marketed. And that's where I thrive. I literally love that kind of work. I'm just so excited with it. I have so many clients that are so good to me, and I'm so thankful for them. I'm so excited. Yeah, there's more to that to come. If you have a small business and you're looking for marketing strategy, hit me up. I'm your girl. I am still looking for full-time because I want benefits. But I couldn't be more thankful for what has happened with Burned Media. Another exciting little tidbit. I did ballet as a kid. I did ballet from about like age 6 or 7 until I was 16. And I loved it. I have not been able to find something else that I love as much. I stopped when I was 16 because of a lot of reasons, but one of those reasons was never that I stopped loving dance. Like, you can have the argument about whether dance is a sport or not, whatever. In this instant, I'm going to call it a sport because of the context of its activity that you do on the consistent basis that you train for and practice for and have to show up and show out. So it's kind of hard when you love a sport so much and you love that kind of movement, and that's how you get your joy and fulfillment and all that kind of stuff, and external forces kind of change that because you never stop loving the sport itself. So I've always loved dance and all forms of dance, but I did leave and I started different things. That's when I did scuba, and I was really into theater. I was always into theater, but I was able to get more into theater. I was able to explore, and then over college I did a whole bunch of different stuff and I got to try different things. Thankfully, I'm so thankful for that time. But my old dance studio did an alumni class. So a big problem with adult ballet and why it's so hard to get into it, and adult dance in general, is like when you're an adult, a lot of the adult ballet classes are for people that want to try it, which is great. But when you already have the foundations of dance, you don't really need this is a plie, this is a tendu. Like, you kind of can go faster while still, like, being in that middle ground of, like, I'm not a professional dancer by any means, but, like, I know what I'm doing. My brain knows, my feet just need to learn it, or my feet need to get back into it. So my dance studio offered an alumni class. So if you have reached a certain level of dance, you can come back and do this accelerated class at your own pace, which was so fun. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I did it over the summer and I got my butt kicked. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun, but it was so weird when, like, your brain knows what you're doing. So the teacher would give a combination that I have done 1,000,000 times, and it's like locked in my brain, and my brain is like, oh, easy money. And then it goes from my brain to my feet, and my feet can't do it. And I'm like, what the heck? Why can't you just cooperate? It was so weird. There was such a weird, like, miscommunication between my head and my feet where I knew I could do it. And sometimes it's harder to relearn something than it is to learn it. Like, I've tried other activities and forms of movement in college. I tried kickboxing, I tried cycling, I tried bar, I don't even know what else, swimming, and nothing like quite did it like dance. But when I was learning those things, it was kind of easier because I didn't have the idea that I could do it in my head. Like, I would go for a split and be like, ow. But in my brain, I can do it. My brain's like, why aren't you doing it? In my brain, I'm still 16. I'm not. It was so fun, but I was severely humbled, and I had to keep reminding myself, like, you're not great at this anymore because you don't do it, and you're not the best because you pushed yourself to try other things, and you pushed yourself to go out of your comfort zone, which you should be proud of. But But it really stunk to not be good. I wasn't not good, but like I wasn't as good as I used to be, which really stunk. But I'm so excited because I was talking to my teacher and I was like, I want to get back involved and blah, 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 blah. And she was like, well, if anything comes up, I'll let you know. So literally today, this morning, she emails me and is like, hey, one of my teachers can't complete 3 of her classes. Do you want them? Yes, I do. So I am teaching little baby ballet and tap. I'm so excited. I start next month. It's going to be so fun. Okay, guys. That's kind of all I have for you. I'm really trying to get more consistent with Not Responsible. I need to pour more time into it and make more episodes. I have so many like ideas for episodes. I just haven't cameraed a microphone. So I'm going to try to get this out very soon. It's on the top of my priority list. And then, yeah. This was a really short episode. Maybe I'll edit it fast. I watch too much Leo Skeppy. I need to stop doing that with my tongue. I keep going, you know, like he does. Oh, dear God. I'm going to wrap this up now. Oh, perfect timing. Okay. Bye, guys.